Cool guys, hello, welcome back. Thank you for stopping by. I hope you had a great week so far, and this is our last tutorial for the final chase Spitfire contest that we had this year. And yeah, so this is the last part, and I want to show you what the ending looks like. So first I play again the cue, and then we'll go quickly through it, what I put inside and what my thoughts were in the composition when I composed it. Let's go. Yeah, so this was the last cue for the whole cue. Cool. Yeah, so basically what we have here is when we have this bass rhythm going on with the kick. This is the part where we have the bicycle. Bicycle, is it the bicycle? So yeah, we have this dark scene where the motorcycle, yeah, exactly, bicycle. The motorcycle is going through the picture, and the whole tone, I mean, of the whole cue is really dark. So I thought, okay, now we need to put something inside what wasn't there before, and I thought that a bass synth line will fit really well, especially the tempo. This is not the real tempo. The real tempo is 144, I believe. So it's definitely on the quicker side. And yeah, so we have this kick as well that is playing four, how do you say it? 4 on the floor, right? So every quarter, boom, 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 plus the bass. So we have a quite great pulse going on, which definitely helps because the picture is moving quite fast, and yeah, it just drives the whole scene forward. And bass is often used to, if you just use the bass for composing, you definitely say that, hey, something dark is going in inside the picture or supporting the picture. So this is a great way to, yeah, enhance the picture. Later, so basically it's going through for a minute, and then we have so basically this accents, I wanted to put them inside because the picture changes quite fast, and this accent, so this pauses between the shots, it really helps to pay more attention to the picture, because it's moving from one scene to the next, so from one shot to the other. And then as well, they talk to each other. So I wanted to create the space. And Yeah, so basically just giving more space for the voice, because this is one of the things that I believe many people miss when they compose for moving pictures, that it's not about the music. It's about the picture, and if the picture has like voices inside, right? So the dialogue, you need to be able to hear the dialogue even without that you later on mix support with the mix. So basically moving down the faders. So you definitely need to think about, hey, when someone is speaking, like not all the time, but just in this sequence, you need to understand that the voice is really present at around 4 or 5K. So it doesn't really make sense to put something inside in this range of frequencies. So, for example, a hi-hat, it's definitely not a great way to put a hi-hat there. Or a snare drum as an example. Or, for example, even high strings or woodwinds. It wouldn't make any sense, because you would be clashing the frequencies of the instruments with the voice, and obviously it will be hard not only to mix, but then you need to EQ all the time in this, moments where the voice is coming in. So basically, if you're not paying attention to the dialogue and you think, hey, the music need to be the people need to listen to the music here, you will just waste your time later on with the mix, because you will understand that, hey, I don't understand what they are talking about right in the dialogue, and yeah, so it will be just harder to understand what they speak about. So this is what I always try to think when I first look into a movie, because the dialogue is really important. It's the main, basically the main element of a scene if they're speaking. And the second is actually the sound effects, right? So the sound design. And it doesn't make sense, because the guys usually put the sound design before the music goes under the film. And it depends, of course, on the scene, but sometimes the sound design is more important than the music, or the music should at some point just complement the sound design. So, for example, if you have super heavy, let's say military stuff somewhere in the low end going on, like, a typical action movie like we have here, then and all the explosions, so it doesn't make any sense to put too much low end in your music, right? At the same time, because it will clash, and then you still need to able to listen to the explosions, right? And it will be just harder to mix, and it will take more time, because you will clash with the frequencies, you will create mud, and you lose basically clarity for the whole frequency spectrum. And this is what you just want to avoid. So this is what I wanted to create. Really simple, basic rhythm, nothing special. I used in the bass pattern, or the bass pulse, it was one of the patches from Keep Forest. I think it's the Viking patch somewhere is there. So basically, it's from the trailer music direction. But I just wanted to try it out, right? On the other hand, if you don't have something like this, you can just play it yourself, or take another pulse. It's basically just to support again the scene. The scene is dark. You want to have low frequencies to support the dark mood. Yeah, and basically at the end, what we have a build up because, of course, the scene is ending, and the scene is ending quite heavy in terms of that we have this car that is chasing the motorcycle, right? So the two main characters, and then we have this explosion. So basically, we're going for this main hit point. And what I did there is I will just play the strings with the brass. So basically just the orchestra without the percussion, and I create this build up. Let's check it out. Again, the pulse. Louder. Yeah, now we have this movement. Yeah, so basically what happens there, we have this pulse again that was the basically it took over when the bass started, right, with the pulse. And then I added 16 notes to the whole to try to like try to show that something will going on, right? Because if you take 16 notes, so basically you put 4 notes into one quarter note, you start kind of ostinatum, basically. You start to think, or your brain start to think, hey, the scene starts to be more fast, and fast means basically because it builds up, and it becomes louder. We initially think something will happen, and this is basically the supportive side of music for this scene, right? And then we have this tutis that are supporting the yeah, it's a really great example because we have really a chaos here. So basically, we have the fast rhythm, right? The 16 notes, and then we have the tutis that are paradam, 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 paradam. So basically, they're the name is called, or this technique is called polyrhythm. So basically, we have one rhythm, and then we have a second rhythm from another instrument or from another section that is not going in the same rhythm. So for just an example, I'm trying to make it as clear and easy as possible. Imagine you have a 4/4 bar, and then you play with another instrument a 5/4 bar. So this is what polyrhythm is. So basically, you have a standard 4/4 bar, but another instrument is going over the bar for one quarter note, just as an example. Or you can have, for example, what polyrhythm can be as well is you have 60 notes, and then you have triads all the time in another instrument. So basically, you're clashing all the time with the rhythm, and this is polyrhythm. So it's really great for achieving this chaotic feeling. Then we have the percussion. Of course, they are helping. The snare drums. With the action strikes, with the heavy low toms. And yeah, and then the bass was actually going all the time through, and I added the sound effects too. I will uh, play just the sound effects to hear what they are doing. Yes, you see, I have quite some effects going on, but this is necessary to create this, yeah, just this special kind of cue. So if I would just place one riser, for example, which you basically start with, but then you quickly realize, hey, it doesn't work. Like it doesn't work really great with the picture because you you think and feel that this is not enough to support the picture. You want to have even more chaos. So then you start to basically improvise and choose different sounds and place them obviously in yeah, either together or again create this polyrhythm kind of thing that the one starts before the other, and then at some point you come up with a cluster basically. So when you have so many instruments going on, and yeah, so it's actually, it's funny to play, I believe, with a live orchestra. It's, of course, not easy to recreate these kind of things because you need to really then split the sections apart and say, for example, that the trombones need to make these effects that are kind of similar to the sound effects that, or to the cluster that I placed here, or then you need to say, hey, the second violins or the uh, violas, they need to again try to make this riser effect going on to yeah, make this happen basically. But you see, today we have the opportunity to just use, yeah, special sound effects, and lay it under the normal music, I would say, that we can play, and then we see and hear if this is working or not. And yeah, so basically, it was much harder, I believe, to come up with these kind of scores before we had samples, right? Because you just had to be able to understand first what the instruments can do. It's still necessary to know it today, but again, some samples, they're so well recorded that we just put them under the picture, and people think that we sat down for 50 hours to create this effect, but this is not the case. 50 hours went into the recording, and we paid money to use the sample. However, the music stuff, yeah, it still need to be composed, and it takes a lot of time, because I believe that the main difference between what I heard in this contest, this is the last words I will say for this workshop that I put together. I believe that you first, of course, everyone can say, I'm a composer, I am producer, I'm this and that. This is obviously, everyone decides for themselves, right? Because if you use a couple of samples, you can say that you can produce music. However, with this kind of contest, because we had so many people participating, it doesn't matter if someone is professional, making his living with it or not. However, at the end, if you listen to some entries, you quickly can understand, and if you listen to film music and to film scores, which obviously if we check out new films and movies, we do, at least subconsciously, we still understand who has the feeling, the right feeling, and the ear to compose music for a scene, or not. So what I just want to say is that I believe that from this 11,000 entries, we had maybe, I didn't listen to all the entries, of course, just to a couple, but I believe that not more than 150 or 200 entries were like a score that you would use. And everything else is basically, people who had fun, put something together, right? However, you still need to understand, okay, film music is not just music. You need to support the movie. You need to be able to, again, support the dialogue if the dialogue is there. You need to understand how to make things work, right? How to compose for the orchestra in a way, how to orchestrate the basically the right way, or at least that it will sound like an orchestra would play it. Obviously, what I said before, making pauses or kind of interesting built stuff inside that is like, for example, a pause or just an accent, which I did a lot. And this is what film music is about. It's basically kind of a classical score. If this would be, let's say, just another scene where you would use more electronic stuff, you don't need to make a lot of pauses. You can just place a track for 1.5, 2 minutes, and it can fit the whole scene. Again, because not only the composer decides how the track will be used, right, in the production, but because we had nobody, no directors who said to us, this is good, this is bad, we decide ourselves what is working for us and what is not working for us. So, yeah, with this workshop, I just wanted to show you that it's a lot that goes inside this production, and I really didn't cover a lot of things, right? I didn't cover exactly what kind of instruments I used everywhere, right? It's not enough to say, hey, this is the string section or the brass section or the woodwinds. This is all clear. I mean, this is what everybody knows, but sometimes it makes really a difference if you use the violin instead of violas or a cello, for example. It really creates a different feeling, not only because the instrument is a different one, but how the instrument is really transforming this feeling inside the composition. Again, mixing, I didn't cover the mixing part, or even the harmonies and all of that. So basically, we could sit here for 50 plus hours easily to really dive into everything and what kind of rhythms and where I placed the bars and the hit points. And then I could show the picture and, hey, I did here, I did this and that. But it's not necessary, I believe, because first, nobody will sit there for 50 hours and look over what somebody else did. We have schools for it that teaches us to do it. This is the first thing. The second thing is, I believe, film music, especially this kind of contest, you really what really helps, I believe, that what really helped me to understand more what to do really with the music for the movie, how to support and help the storytelling, is by analyzing film music consciously when you are watching movies. So, for example, what I did for many, many years is that I started to watch a movie, and the first cue, I analyzed every single second what the composer did, where, what, why, etc. And it really helped. This is, I believe, the only way how to learn to write for picture. It's not like necessary to open the books and look for the orchestration. This is additional stuff. This is important, but I believe the most important thing is to really learn from the practical side. And the practical side is just go on Netflix, um, you know, search a movie that you like, no matter what the movie is. It can be a love story, it can be action, it can be mystery, whatever genre is there, and really go from the first cue to the last cue and write it down what the composer did, because all of these guys, they do amazing jobs, right? And the cool part is not only the composer decided what he would like to do, right, for the movie. The whole team decided, the director, the producers. So it's not only the decision of just one guy. And yeah, this is what helped me really to understand more how to create music for moving picture. Okay, so it's not that easy that so many people think. Hey, I have some samples, I put them inside, and everything will work. It will not. So you really need to put in the hours and try to again come up with concepts that are working, right? And I mean, they work forever. Film music is already so many years old. We have 2020, and the first film music came more than 100 years ago. So basically, all this classical composing, this is film music. And today, of course, we have technology, we have support. It's easier because we have a computer, we can try out. We don't need to hire an orchestra to understand, hey, will it work or not? Sometimes we don't need even to play the instruments, but what really helps is to analyze, because your ears will initially decide for you, is this sounding good or not? Does it fit the not only the picture, but does it fit the genre and the orchestration? And yeah, so basically, this is my final and last tip for you. If you are into film music, if you want to really try to come with better ideas for the movies that you will work on for in the future, analyze more, and it really helps. Yeah, again, thank you for stopping by, watching until the end. This was the last part, and I will see you in the next video, guys. And if you have any questions, leave them in the comment box down below. I mean, you know the process. I will glad to answer them for you. And yeah, have a great evening. See you in the next video. Take care and be amazing.